let's talk about the anatomy behind KICO positions during labor. So KICO stands for knees in, calves out. And what does that mean? Well, during labor, when we want to open the final bony level of the pelvis, the pelvic outlet, by up to 20%, taking knees in for an internal rotation of these femur bones, these leg bones in the hip socket, will help open that bottom pelvic outlet by up to 20%, giving your baby an easier way to navigate down through the final bony level of the pelvis. So we are going to focus on a few exercises that you can do prenatally throughout your whole pregnancy once you've been cleared for exercise. These are very easy and accessible for most bodies, and these will help prepare you so you can find KICO positions during labor with more ease. So what we are going to do is use a small stool or chair, and we're going to help use that to get into some of these postures. So first we're going to start sitting on the floor, and a lot of folks think that we need lots of external rotation of the femur bones in the hip sockets to open the pelvis, and that helps too, right? That helps during early labor, but it's going to be that internal, or the legs turning, the knees turning inward, that is going to open that final level of the pelvis. So we want to focus on both internal rotation and external rotation. So we're going to do some prenatal exercises that help prepare our body. So from a seated position, hands behind you to support your upper body, we're going to work on dropping a knee in, and the other knee, you'll notice, will rotate out. Now, notice how much resistance your legs are giving you here. If you're getting a lot of resistance and it's really uncomfortable to allow this knee to drop down to the floor, you can take a block and put a block under your knee and breathe here for a few breaths to try and ease some of the tension in the inner thigh. Very nice. So we're just gently windshield wipering our legs from side to side to work that internal rotation of our hip, of our femur bone in our hip socket. Nice. Next, we're going to take that chair and we're going to lean over it. And remember to pad your knees, so use a mat or a rug under your knees. And we're going to work on child's pose sit back. So knees are wide to start as we sit back toward our heels, and we just kind of warm up our back and lower body. And then after a few times of sitting back onto the heels and maybe even holding it, so sometimes my clients find a really nice stretch for their back and their pelvis here in a supported child's posture. Then we're going to work on bringing the knees together and bringing the calves out and trying that sit back now with the knees either touching or very close together and the feet opened out like a V. So calves and feet are open out, and I'll show you what this looks like from behind. So I'm going to bring the knees together, open the legs, and sit back. Very nice. Remember to pad your knees. And then we're going to sit on the chair. So we're going to have, remember that low stool, low chair, and we're going to work on some knee drops. So a knee drops in, and this will be a little more of a stretch, you'll notice, for your outer thigh, your glute, your low back, your hip, and then we're going to do the other side. So notice how the knee that's dropped, I'm really on the inner edge of my foot here, and I have my inner ankle bone is touching the ground too. Now, it doesn't have to be, but that's what we're working for, rocking onto the inner edge. And if this is painful on your inner edge of your foot, put that rug down or that softer surface, a yoga mat, so you don't have any discomfort there in your feet. Very nice. Pelvic tilts are next. So with pelvic tilting, we can do this in a bunch of different ways. We're going to start with supported pelvic tilting. So we're going to tuck the tailbone under, and then we're going to release it. And some people say, oh, is this like cat-cow? Not really. I mean, it is kind of like cat-cow in the sense that we are working some spinal mobility, but we're not involving the upper spine. We're just working on tilting the pelvis. So remember, with cat-cow, we'd be doing the whole spine, including the neck bones. Very nice. So about 30 seconds to a minute of pelvic tilting is really lovely here. And the final stretch we're going to do, final mobility movement stretch, is an adductor rock back. So with that adductor rock back, we're going to have one knee on our soft surface, and the other leg extends out laterally, out to the side. And we're going to support ourselves as we sit back those hips toward the heels. And notice a stretch along the inner leg here. And we'll do that a few times. So we'll allow ourselves to drop back toward our heel. I like to hold this here for 2 or 3 breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now notice my foot here. It does not need to be flat. If the toes just don't go down, or you're kind of on the heel a little bit, that's fine. As you rock forward, the foot does come down. So you don't have to force that foot down, but we're going to just rock forward and back. And remember to do both sides, left and right. So whenever you're working mobility or movement, we work on both sides of the body. And those are some wonderful prenatal exercises that you can do during pregnancy to prepare your body for KICO movements for birth, knees in, calves out. There are lots of choices for KICO movements for birth, and I will share a couple of those. One of them is my favorite, and it's over a peanut ball, or it's over the back of the hospital bed, or a stack of pillows. And it's when you give your whole upper body weight, so you lean into that prop. And then we work on bringing knees together and calves out. And then we're supported in our upper body by that prop. Now, some people say, is this how I should push when it comes to pushing time? And I like to tell people there is no shoulds with birth, there is no shoulds with pushing. So the KICO movements help open that final bony level of the pelvis, which is usually around that transition phase of labor to help baby down. But once baby's down through that pelvic outlet, whatever feels most comfortable to you is what I support you in doing. So finding that you practice several different postures and not getting too attached to one thing. So we don't want to raise our expectations to be like, oh, this is how I have to birth. This is how I have to push my baby out. But we want to try all of the things. So when it comes time to our big day and the pushing phase of labor, we have a myriad of options that supports us in the moment. Thank you for joining me. My name is Jessica of Mama Shakti Prenatal. Mama Shakti means Mama Power.